of Dazzle's discussions. For once, Kevin Big Booty Bodie is not here. We killed him. We brought in the one and only Bailey Ponnox Dietrich. Welcome, welcome.
Nice to be here. I didn't mean to outdress you, but it just happened.
Hey, sometimes you just gotta look good. And what can I say? We know how to look good. I, of course, am Blake Dazaninator and Ponnox. I will be your host for this lovely evening. But yeah, we were supposed to do this on Sunday, but figured we'd wait till registration was down so we had a little bit more to talk about. Wait till fantasy or even just LCS was down. Touch on fantasy and stuff. But I suppose we'll start off with our own league, SKL. We did have registration closed Sunday at midnight. Now, I think the final number of teams registered, correct me if I'm wrong, 21?
Yeah, that's what we're looking at right now. It's 21 teams registered. And from what we've been hearing, it's a lot higher the skill, like higher average MMR than we were looking at last season as well.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't help with it this year, so I don't did they actually take like numbered MMR? They didn't actually just go by
Yeah,
rank?
instead of like just looking at each individual player's rank, we averaged out their MMR this time, and it's compared to last year's, we're looking at some pretty strong teams coming into the split. Some old faces, we got some new faces, but it's looking good.
Yeah, I think as far as teams go that were in the season last year, I believe we only have. I think we have Thunderducks who have now changed their name to Viz Major.
Mm-hmm.
Vicious and Delicious who did they change their name?
I believe they're still vicious and delicious.
Still the same. And Fellowship of the Nerds, I believe they are only returning
Nope,
teams.
nope. There's
No?
also Land Before Time.
Did they actually put in a team?
Yeah. ADP Gaming is back. There's
Okay, time out.
like there's quite a few that are actually back, not just those three. It's
No, I just meant from the regular split.
Oh yes, yeah. From the
Sorry.
regular split, we lost a few. But three of the top four teams are returning. Notice Me Senpai is the only team that's not going to be returning this split. But yeah, as far as that goes, three of the four top placing teams are going to be back for this.
I'm not gonna lie. One, I'm excited. I really liked ADP Gaming. I thought they were fun. It was cool. They like have their own brand and they were like super hype. And one, they talked in Twitch chat.
Yeah, they were one of the only teams that actually had like an established name behind them. It wasn't just like, oh, we came up with this on a word generator. It's like ADP Gaming. They had a Facebook page. They had a website. They all had like ADP before their names and stuff like that. Like they're pretty devoted to the name ADP Gaming. So it looks like Viz Major is going to be going that route this time too. Now that they've actually picked up a brand of their own. The Thunderducks last split. So it's going to be a lot more exciting seeing them come back with a little more, media power behind them.
Yeah, and I mean I think that's kind of cool. We're finally seeing these teams pick up sponsors. It's like, whoa, we're SKL, like we're not a big deal, but apparently we are. We're here.
Yeah.
We're a big deal all of a sudden.
We also do have another team, Foxtrot 5 Esports, that are applying as well, and they're also kind of like an established thing. You can even like Google.
Yeah, they're reigning from the States, correct?
Yeah, yes, they are.
Yeah.
Like you can even just Google their website, and it's stuff comes up. They have a lot of information on their website and whatnot. It's pretty cool, just that we get brands and stuff coming in now.
Yeah, it's actually I mean, not to take anything away from the games last year. I think we're a little more organized this year, but I think the caliber of teams we have this year are a little higher. So right out of the gates, we should have a lot of competitive games going on. None of these like one-sided blowouts, hopefully. But I'm pretty excited. So as far as SKL, I mean, we do have 21 teams. We didn't quite hit the 64. I mean, we almost had the 64 team, but
just shy. But it's still like it's not necessarily quantity that we need. It's quality, right? We want to go for that. The top tier teams into the actual regular season. So the fact that we didn't get like a large number of players, it's not huge as long as we actually get the best players that we can get. So
yeah, exactly. So, but the one nice thing is it will kind of cut down the amount of games that will be played, as in, I think we're gonna try and stream all of the games because there would only be 4 games a night. Are you sure? I think this maybe.
We're going to be trying to stream like every night, yes, but not all the games will be streamed.
Hold that thought. All right. All right. But as far as that, I mean, there'll be 4 games a night, right?
Yeah.
So we'll have 4 games. 2 of them for sure be streamed and casted. You'll have all the boys back. You'll have Dazzle, Ponnox, Silky, Crafty, and of
Big
course,
Bodie.
Big Booty Buddy back together once again.
Mm.
So as far as SKL goes, that action kicks off on Monday, January
Yes.
25th. I believe at 7.
Yeah, it's really sneaking up on us. It's I'm pretty excited.
I'm not gonna lie, I've totally forgot registration closed this Sunday. That crept on me. All of a sudden I was like, whoa, like that's nuts.
Yeah, we were watching
Where-
LCS there, and all of a sudden, yeah, registration closes tomorrow night. Oh yeah.
I know, it blew me away. Like, I'm so stoked. But, I mean, as far as that, I mean, one other thing, we have a Kickstarter that's got 7 days left. That hasn't closed down.
Yeah,
so-
no, that's still got a little bit of time left on that one. Got some motion on it already. So
I mean, we haven't quite reached our goal, but if you want, make sure to check out that Kickstarter page. We'll throw a link into the chat there. We have a nice little video descriptions. We have a lot of stuff for the people who back our Kickstarter. Make sure to read the descriptions. Big Booty Bodie put a lot of effort into it. Pretty funny. I'll give him props. It's a good read. It's not one of those like, oh, okay, yeah.
Big fan of the mugs.
Yes. Big fan of the mugs. But yeah, make sure to check out the Kickstarter. As far as SKL, guys, make sure you tune in on Monday. We're going to come straight out of the gates with the games. I will be going from Monday to Thursday, 7 till whenever the games are done. So usually about 9:30, 10 o'clock. I don't decide how long they go. If you guys want to play go for the 70-minute game, the dream, the late game.
They are best of 2 matches, so I mean, if they're good teams, they could make them go quite a long time if they're pretty evenly matched. So
yeah, exactly. Well, I guess one other thing is we should run. We do have 21 teams, so even though we didn't hit the 64, it still will be a Swiss bracket until we get to the top 16, and then we will. After that, we will go into the double round robin.
Yes. Yeah. And that's where things get exciting.
Exactly. 4 brackets, 4. And that's where actually the three teams from the top 4 last season come in. They get buys for placing that high in the first season. So actually we'll have 13 teams instead of 12 come out of that Swiss bracket that we originally had. As Notice Me Senpai, I guess, forfeited their spot for not registering. They don't have time. That's all right.
That's too bad. I mean, they were a really talented team. I mean, they had some very, very high-ranking players. I mean, there was like Team Maya and stuff like that. He played like every position, and he just carried games so hard. It's gonna be really sad to have him not come back.
They were a fun team to watch.
They were so aggressive. Like just nothing but aggression from them. They were fantastic. Yeah.
Straight to my heart. But it'll suck to see them go. But I'm really excited for all these other new teams to come in. Lots of open spots, and hopefully it'll be as competitive as possible. Moving on, there's another competitive league going on. It's called the LCS. You guys might have heard of it. It's in North America and Europe.
What's that?
First week kicked off this week, and I know, Ponnox, you're excited. I'm excited. I mean, TSM's got a new roster. We'll get into that later. But, I mean, so these games this week kind of went wonky. I didn't expect
there was
results.
definitely some outcomes of those games that I did not see coming whatsoever. I mean, just looking at day 1 there, I mean, the TSM CLG game was a fantastic game to kick it off for NALCS at least.
Wow.
And then if you're looking at some other ones, like Renegades taking Liquid. Liquid had a pretty weak showing day 1 there with their main roster. Renegades looking good, though. I mean, Freeze definitely coming out of the gates hard. I was a little skeptical, just because, I mean, Copenhagen Wolves is known for breeding talent, but then they don't always pan out. But Freeze, he's looking comfortable on Renegades, so I like that.
I like how you use the term breeding talent. Yes.
Well, I mean, look at the past rosters and look how many of them have
gone.
No,
I'm just bugging you. I just mean, could you use a different word, not breed? Maybe like raise, like whatever. It was still good. But no, like a lot of the I'm gonna ride the back. But I mean, that's the thing. A lot of the teams. Okay, for me, the first game. I guess let's talk about NA first, then we'll kind of
Yeah,
go over EU because you're gonna have to take most EU. I actually missed all the EU games. I
I
didn't
watched
catch
all of
one.
you. I watched all.
Oh, I was crushed. But I mean, as far as NA, yeah, CLG looking a lot stronger than I gave them credit for.
Yeah, I mean Stixay. I mean, I had a like. I'm gonna be honest. I had all the doubts about Stixay. I didn't have one single
Are you
good thing to say. Like,
are you
and
telling me
then
that Reddit pentakill didn't get you hyped
that
up
was the
for game
only
one?
thing
You're
that
like,
made me go
woo!
maybe, maybe. And then yeah, day one, TSM came right out of the gates. He played very very well. He's not like a very flashy, super aggressive player or anything like that. But he seems like he's gonna be a very consistent player, which is something that CLG needs from there if they're gonna be playing the way that they've been playing lately. Like having Darshan playing this weird like Kinzu's Jax that can either get crazily backfired or if they can just carry the game. So if they're gonna play stuff like that, they need consistency elsewhere, which Stixay seems like he's gonna be providing. So I definitely like that. Smithy's the definition of consistent and safe, and who he seems to be doing well as well. I mean, he played a great Lysandre game. I mean, he had some huge flanks, stuff like that really turned the game around.
Yeah, he did really great. TSM looked pretty flat this weekend. I mean, they lost to CLG. I'm surprised they beat Team Liquid,
Hmm.
but
There's just some
I
stuff that I puts me on edge about them a little bit. Like I just was not convinced by Yellow Star's Bard.
yeah.
It seemed so weird. Like that's just not a Yellow Star champion for me. Like I see like Trundle or Nalistar and Janna stuff like that, but Bard is just what? I don't know.
I'm kind of glad that they didn't fall back to the Lulu mid though.
Mm,
In both games,
I
not that they did exceptionally well, but like I feel like the whole point of bringing double lift is you have that double threat in the AD carry and the mid roll, and then at IEM they put him on like Lulu and stuff, and I was like you want this guy to carry, and they did alright against CLG. I hope it's just team coercion that they're still kind of building to get
stuff.
better.
Yeah, and I mean it is the first week, so I mean that easily could just be a rough one. I mean they're 1-1, whatever. It's not. They've had worse starts, but
Yeah, I want to touch on Liquid. I feel like this 10-man roster, I know me and Kevin talked about it a bit, not really panning out. They lost both games, but you know what the thing is? I don't think the roster's the problem with them. I think it's just Team Liquid. They do the same thing. They have a good early, good mid game, and then they throw late games 'cause they don't know what to do.
that's the thing. Their shot calling it always just goes like it's just reactionary. They never are the ones to initiate anything. They always just sit there and wait for them to engage. Like when they played against Renegades, that was just such a terrible game. I thought because they were just sitting there waiting for Remy to engage, just waiting. They were just like on their toes the entire time, and then as soon as they engaged, then they'd start fighting. Liquid never went on the offensive; they were always on the defensive, and then they ended up just slowly getting choked out and losing the game. And that's kind of how they've been. Hope I actually have a lot of confidence in the 10-man roster, more from the TLA side than the actual Team Liquid side, because TLA looks very strong, and so there's some players that I think you can mix and match and then just get the right combination for that. Like Lorlu, I think he looks good in the top lane. The jungler Dardoch, oh my goodness,
Oh, yeah, he looks
he's
good.
he's insane. Phoenix, he's still old Phoenix. I mean, he's not going to be the best in NA. He's still definitely a top like higher tier mid laner. Um, I don't think they would swap him out. Piglet, I mean, even though he's known to have some issues with players and stuff like that, I mean, he's still very good AD carry mechanically. And Matt is a shot caller, and I feel like TLA has great shot calling. So I feel like swapping him in versus what they've been doing before might be a good sign.
Oh, and I felt bad for Piglet. That guy, like, he did phenomenal this week, and him
Both
being in
both
a
games, both games, he
oh,
played extremely well.
like his Lucian was insane against TSM. Like he was so fed, and then when they lost, you could see. I mean, the guy basically started crying at the end of the game, but he's an emotional player, and it sucked to see that. Like the guy started to carry his team, and they just don't. It's the same thing they lacked last season. They just don't have that just like late game decisive shot calling. It's like you were saying, they're always waiting for something to happen. They never take the initiative to try and end the game, and I feel like it's really biting them in the butt. But I mean, Cloud9. I was happy to see them start Bunny Fufu, but they couldn't pick up the win. They bring in High, and the guy just Like he single-handedly won that game.
That's okay. I agree with both of those, but let's just take a look at the teams they played. They played arguably the strongest team in North America, and they lost. Sure, I mean even with high, that was definitely still a very big possibility. So I'm not gonna put that one on Bunny Fufu at all. And then for the Echo Fox game, they played arguably one of the weakest teams in North America. I know that they got some good players and stuff like that, but I mean, let's be honest, lots of NA is strong this season. I don't put them that high. Uh, so I mean, even though High came in, he was played crazy well. I want to see how Cloud9 plays with High against a higher tier team than Echo Fox. Um, I think High is going to be what makes C9 go through into a higher bracket team. I don't think they have the team coercion without him. So
They didn't look too terrible with. I guess the shot calling did it's hard seeing C9 without high because they definitely aren't as decisive.
they get so scattered.
Yeah, and like it was very apparent in that first game when they had Bunny Fufu, but they're gonna have to work through that. But I agree. I think once we see high in that role when they start playing top tier teams and it's kind of like grow Bunny Fufu into it. But I still stand by my statement. I think they need to get Bunny Fufu in there sooner than later, or else you're just gonna keep switching back and forth, and then I feel like Bunny Fufu's not gonna.
But like as far as support champions go, I mean the whole I think High is mechanically skilled enough that he can play support role. Even though, sure, I mean Bunny Fufu is an amazing player. Don't get me wrong, but lots of support is a lot of thinking ability and like knowing like your warding and your when to engage, stuff like that. And that's the calls that you need. And I think High is always going to have that advantage on Bunny, which is just a way bigger pro than any con that you could throw towards him.
Well, and that's the same reason they brought him back to jungle. That's his strength, and that is what the team needs. And
Yeah.
when they made that gauntlet run, that is what it was. It was that decisive shot calling that they were lacking in high. And I still agree with you that I don't think it matters what role you put him in. He makes that team just clearly off of shot calling, regardless how mechanically skilled he is.
Hmm.
But
I think C9's always going to know what they have to do. It's just that they need someone to pull the trigger for them. And I just think that's what High is, because it's like they're all very very skilled players, and I feel like they have enough game knowledge that they know what they have to do to win. It's just they need someone to just fire the gun, and
yeah,
that's what High does for him. He's the trigger finger. So
I mean, as far as like other teams, Tip didn't look that
garbage.
great. I'm not even gonna talk much about Tip.
No.
They did exactly as I expected them to. They lost both games
Magnificently. They lost spectacularly.
Well, I do believe they set the record for fastest LCS game in
Mm-hmm.
history.
Yep.
On Sunday by losing in 18. Oh,
A perfect game in 18 minutes and 50 seconds.
18 minutes 50 seconds. No, 18 minutes and 20 seconds.
Oh, was it? Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I just looked at it right now. Yeah, perfect game.
Oh,
They didn't
it's
lose
gotta be
a
right.
single objective. Didn't die.
Yeah, that was a disgusting game. So, I mean, on the flip side of that, how about Immortals?
Okay. Immortals looked really good, but I still want to touch on this. I think it's too early to say, all right, these guys, they're going to be the best team. I was absolutely impressed with how well Wild Turtle played, and I know other people may not know this, but I tell this to you guys all the time. I still think he's probably one of the, if not the best AD carry in North America when he shows up. The guy
That's exactly. It's like, do you guys like when people were just talking garbage about him? It's like, did you watch season 3? Like,
yeah, like he's so good. It's just he doesn't always. He's just very inconsistent, and that was the only problem I've had with him. And I mean, you're looking at this like we've been over this roster, but this is the same thing that I'm worried about for this team. They have so much skill on this team, but they also have so much inconsistency on this team.
But
That's my. I'm not saying that they're gonna flop.
but like how often? I mean, like yes, I mean Hooney has tilted before, but like how often has that actually happened? I mean, it happened at Worlds. It happened like once on their 18-0 run.
It's not even Hooney I'm more worried about. It's more of Wild Turtle, Pobelter. It's more of those two that I would say are kind of.
I wouldn't say
You never know.
Pobelter's the most inconsistent player. He's had bad
Whoa,
games.
whoa, whoa! I'm not saying that they are the most inconsistent. I'm just saying, as a team, they have a roster of
Yeah,
people who are known to be inconsistent.
true. Okay. I still think they're definitely going to be the top 3 for sure.
Oh, I think they'll be. I'm just curious to see how long they can keep this dominating performance because they came out this weekend and they crushed. Like
Yeah.
they went hard on the pavement. Adrian looked unreal out there. Some of the plays
They
that guy made were insane.
during that Cloud9 game, I've never been more tilted in my life. Just with his monsoons and his Janna tornadoes, even in the TIP game, just like that one tornado he had in the bot lane gank during the TIP game when who was it? The jungler, he came down and he was going for a gank and he put a tornado through Ken as well as he put it through BB. So it was like a one tornado just double denied both of their dashes. Like it was Alistar mid headbutt and Nidalee mid dash and just saved Wild Turtle's life. And it was just like unreal like how he played that. And so like I'm extremely impressed with Adrian. Like I think he's going to be unreal on that team.
That's going to be a bot lane that I would say we have to keep an eye on throughout the entire season because I still love Wild Turtle. I liked him when he was in TSM.
Mm-hmm.
He was, it was very like, oh, he's going to jump in. But he's good. And if he keeps up like this, they're going to be a top contender for sure.
Absolutely.
I guess the other team we'll look at is Energy. They went 2-0 this? No, they lost day 2, right?
To Energy to wait.
Oh, no, they 2-0.
Yeah, they
2-0.
2-0. Yeah. Because they played Dignitas and they won, and then they played Renegades and they won.
And they won that first day. It wasn't as convincing.
No.
Me, that first day because
I mean, when they played Dignitas, there was so much garbage in that game that it was just because like
classic.
Gank by Mom Gank by Mom got 2 Baron steals on something that absolutely should not have happened. Like that was 100%. That was more Dignitas losing the game than Energy winning the game.
Yeah. They also had subs that game, though.
Yes. Yeah, they did. So Impact wasn't playing. Neither was Moon. But Shrimp was supposed to be this really great jungler from Korea as well. And then all of a sudden he just fed hard. But Chris, he came up actually. So I'm not too disappointed about that. Day 2, though, I mean, it was just more of a stump than anything else. Energy definitely ran away with the game at that point. I mean, Impact just got extremely scary, extremely fast, and RF just can't even compete. He's not even on the same level. Gank by Mom played extremely well. Altec played extremely well. And Konquan, the unspoken hero of that team, he went 0-10 in that game. He had a lot more gold than Remy, and he played that Trundle support magnificently. Like, everyone's talking about these star players, Gank by Mom and Impact and Altec, but, I mean, Quan, who was playing for Coast, is actually showing up really, really well.
Well, yeah, he's the only original member left of that Coast roster. But that I don't know, man. I know we talked about this. Like, that's the thing. We've talked a lot about this, so we never do it on stream. I know me and Kevin talked a bit about Energy, but like Energy, Immortals, both these rosters, like on paper, even before the season started, like they looked good. Like you have a lot of good players, and I mean, Altec Conquan, another potential bot lane that could definitely just dominate the scene.
Mm-hmm. The thing that I like about Immortals and NRG is they have threats in every single lane. So in top lane you got Huni and then you have Impact. In mid lane you got Pobelter and you have Gank by Mom. I mean, Pobelter is not known to be as big of a carry lord probably, but he still has the potential to be. Bot lane you got Altec and then you also have Wild Turtle. I mean, any one of those lanes has the potential to go off. Whereas you look at teams like TSM, I don't think you're ever going to really see a game where Haunter's gonna go off and just destroy the entire team. Like he's good, but I can't see it ever. I'm sorry. Teams like Liquid, I don't see Lorelu ever doing it. Counterlogic Gaming, the only one who can do it is probably Darshan. But I don't know. They just have threats in every single lane, so it's something that it just applies so much global pressure just at them being in the game, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like back in the day, TSM, when it was just Bjergsen in the mid lane, when everyone just had to like 5-man gank him just to keep him down. Like it's not like that with these teams. Like they have so much pressure that you have to kind of pick and choose which one you're gonna try and keep down. So
yeah, and I mean, the talent in this is in NA LCS has definitely stepped up.
Yeah.
I feel like the teams are a lot more competitive.
The imported talent.
Yeah. Sorry, the imported talent, not necessarily from North America,
Yeah.
but the teams looked really strong. Echo Fox, I don't think I watched either of their games this week, but they looked better than I gave them credit for.
Froggen played well in the first game, and then the second game he was Keith played well both games. I like Keith a lot on this roster. Uh, he's going to be a very strong player, I'd say. So if he doesn't have success on this team, I could definitely see him having success beyond this. The only problems I have with Echo Fox are probably big, the support in the bot lane, as well as hard in the jungle. I don't know if I'm a big a fan as him as Echo Fox is.
Yeah, it's the other thing is we're week 1, so I mean it's hard to make these like accurate statements because we've seen 2 games. Maybe someone had a crappy week, but Dignitas is actually a team that I counted. I was like, man, these guys are garbage.
Yeah, I
they
pretty much
look
read
like
them
crap. And game 1 they played well. Oh, wow, kind of. They pulled a classic Dignitas through at Baron repeatedly.
I didn't realize it's Shifter and Apollo on the same team again.
Yeah, from Ghost. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, right. He was with Fusion. It kind of blew my mind. But no, I mean, Apollo is playing out of his mind. I mean, that guy back from his coast days compared to now when he was playing on Tip, when he's playing on Dig, like he's such a different player. He's so much better. Kiwi kid, he's still hanging on there. I mean, he's still LCS support worthy, I'd say. And Shifter, I mean, he's definitely stepped up. I mean, his past season there, it was rough. I'm gonna be honest. It didn't seem like he kind of had the will to carry games anymore. But this last game, like with that game that they won against TIP, or no, the game against NRG, he was still 8-2-7, even though they lost. So like he was trying his hardest. Like he's still a very good player, I'd say. But these 2 new guys, Smitty J and Kire, I'm iffy on them.
Yeah, I mean, they looked really good against CLG. Sorry, that second day they looked very strong. They played very smart and got them the W. So I think that's a team that can grow though. I completely counted them out, but they looked a lot stronger. And I feel like once they get a little more practice, I think I would say they could even go middle of the pack instead of necessarily being the bottom. But that's a team I'm going to keep my eye on because I feel like they performed a lot better than I would have given them credit for. But rounding out NA, I guess, so you can talk about Renegades. There's a lot of hype around them. I like them only because I like Freeze, because he's the only one who still plays Draven in the LCS. I was a little upset he didn't play Draven this weekend. But
no, but I mean, he played his other pick, which is, the Callisto. Yeah.
And I thought they looked all right. I don't think they looked as good as people expected.
No, well, I don't know if people had much hope for them anyway. It's just with the amount of like we were saying, pure talent that's in the league right now. Like RF, I just don't think he can kind of keep up with some of these top laners like Impact and Darshan and stuff like that. I mean, he's still gonna do okay, but I don't think he's ever gonna take off. Crumbs, he's still doing well. Alex Itches, he had a rough game, or a rough week, I would say. Freeze is doing well, and Remy, I think, still needs to pull their socks up a little bit there. But she's still doing well, and like Freeze said in that one interview on Reddit there, that he thinks that they have potential to be one of the best bot lanes in NA. So
yeah, I thought that was a pretty bold statement.
It is a bold statement looking at the talent that's here.
But honestly, I'm pretty stoked. As a person who plays a lot of AD carry, I feel like, man, there's a lot of bot lane is actually going to be exciting to watch this year. Like all the teams, but yeah. I mean, as far as any LCS, first week went. I guess there's a little more surprises than I expected. I expected the teams to be a lot more clear cut.
Yep.
In terms of skill, but I was taken by surprise. I think it's going to be. I expected it to be competitive, but I expected it to be like, all right, here's the top, here's kind of the middle pack, bottom, but it's kind of shifted.
Yeah, it's shaping up to be a really back and forth kind of battle for top, which I like. Not one team that's just dominant like Fnatic, but it's gonna be fun.
Ponnox, as much as EU LCS, I'm not gonna lie. I'll touch base on some, but I didn't watch much. I mean, I can tell you what I wasn't impressed with. Origin, kind of. You know what?
There's not a lot to talk about with EU. The things to talk about: one, Fnatic. 2 Origin, probably H2K, and maybe like G2 Esports and Vitality just being garbage. Um, something to look
Hey,
at.
whoa. Didn't G2 go 2-0 though?
Yes, that's why I want to talk about them.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Sorry, I missed that. I thought you said G2 was trash. And I was like,
No, I was talking about Vitality. Not
yeah,
that Vitality
okay.
is garbage. It's just everyone was hyping them up to be this new like a super team, right? And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden they played against Rocket and then just didn't do a thing. They were just useless the entire game. So I have my reserves now by Vitality. I mean, I still really like the bot lane of Yarnan and Kasing, but I think that's the biggest thing I like about them. Other than that, Capochard, he's good. But I'm just not convinced by Nuke Duck. He's just not Lemon Dog's form.
I agree, and we talked about that earlier. He was supposed to be this like super great player. He was unreal when he played for
Lemon Dogs,
Lemon
yeah.
Dogs. He got banned for a year. He came back, and he has definitely not been the same since.
No. Same with Shook, even too. I mean, Shook is just not looking like his old Alliance self when they had that great split when they actually won the LCS. But he's taking a downhill slide too. So that's why I'm a little iffy about Vitality. I mean, they're gonna have to. They have a lot to prove before I'm gonna be convinced that they're gonna be a top tier team.
Yeah.
But yeah, moving on from Vitality, Origin. I think their biggest issue is not the players themselves. It's their macro game. It's their pick and ban. Everything just looks bad. Like their pick and ban phase. There's like two games in a row. They picked these double or triple scaling comps. The first game they picked Lissandra with Roa. They picked Oriana with Roa. They picked Ezreal with a tier. So it's definitely stuff that takes time. And then they played that into these very early aggression comps with the Zac, a LeBlanc, a Lucian. So they just got outpicked and banned there, and they lost before their team could really click in there. So that's why I'm really disappointed in Origin there. It just seems like their support staff might need to do a little work there as far as figuring out how they as Origin need to play the game. They need Soaz on champions he can carry on, and they need to put power people on stuff that doesn't require him to scale as well.
Well, and I feel like Power Evil's so used to a team where he has to kind of like throw him on his back. Like, I don't know, Hylissang was pretty good on that team. Bardogs was meh.
Mm-hmm.
Charge killed his own, but then you're pulling him into a team who, I mean, Soaz is kind of unpredictable at the same time. But like that guy can carry sometimes. You
Mm-hmm.
let Niels or Sven, as he changed his name, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily like they need something to get him going. You can't run the double scaling, and I feel this meta is so much more fast paced that it's really hard to play the double. Like, oh,
It's not even
just
that
wait
the
till
games
late.
go. It's not that the games go super like early now. Like I mean, the games go very similar length. Honestly, they are a bit shorter, yeah, but it's just where you get your spikes seem to be a lot earlier.
Oh no, yeah, I
Because
just
like
mean like I'm not necessarily saying the games are shorter. I'm just mean
yeah.
it's more fast paced. Like I feel like you can take turrets faster, so I mean gold swings happen a little quicker.
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, there's not much incentives to get the buffs anymore. Like Dragon buff isn't as strong anymore. The Rift Herald still doesn't seem to be as worth it as it could be. So the only answer left is, for as far as objectives go, is tower. So we're now back to a fast pushing meta. Lots of lane swaps, stuff like that. And so when you're picking these scaling comps, it's not great. I mean, like looking at game two when they played against H2K, there they had they picked a team that had no wave clear. They had Rise, they had Cassidon, they had Elise, they had Braum and Lucian. Lucian doesn't have a lot of wave clear himself besides his ultimate. He takes a little bit of time there, so they had trouble just with the pick and ban phase, and then they had tower siege defense. They didn't really have too much for, so they just picked these champions and they kind of set themselves up to lose.
Yeah, I I mean I'm not surprised with Fnatic. I think that Gamsu is very
Mm.
relatable. Well, not relatable. Very similar playstyle as Huni. Maybe not as good.
Yeah.
Sorry. I think I caught you off guard with switching to Fnatic right there. But
No, go for it, dude.
I feel like Spirit's a really good pickup. I just feel like they kind of put Spirit's more of I guess an aggressive jungler than Reignover maybe.
Yeah. Spirit, I really like him. I mean, I feel like he just knows the jungle and the game just so well. Gamzu, I mean, there's game one where he just went off and was crazy, and then there's game two where they put him in the exact same position, he just didn't take off. So it's whether you can get Gamzu ahead or not is gonna be what Fnatic lives or dies by. Because I mean, Febabin, he's proved that he's a very strong mid laner, very consistent. Uh, Reckless, I mean, he's always going to perform. Noxiac, he's really shown up. I'm very much enjoying Noxiac on support, but it's the Gamzu one is the coin flip, I'd say, for Fnatic.
Yeah. And I'm trying to look here. I don't really know if there's any other teams that were like H2K. I didn't think. I mean, I know you guys.
H2K, I expected them to be well.
I did. I thought I was like, maybe.
You're the devil. You're safe.
But they worked out. I'm kind of kicking my own case here for not really believing in.
Yeah, I mean Ryu, he's really good still. I mean, people kind of counted him out just because he moved to EU, but I think he's still very, very talented. And then H2K, you got Yankos. He's a much stronger jungler than they had before. And the bot lane Vander seems to be working well with Forgiven, who's another addition as well. And then Oduwamne, I think he is still a very strong top laner in EU as well. So I'm really happy with their roster. I think they're going to do very well and definitely place top 3.
Yeah. They have the talent. I just didn't think that they'd pull together and have that cohesion. But I was proven wrong. I mean,
the last team I want to talk about from EU, though, is G2 Esports.
Okay. Yeah, hit that up because I actually I went on a whim in our fantasy, and I was like, you know what, Emperor was pretty darn good when he came to NA, but I don't know how I'll do over there, but I'll grab him. I was impressed. They did well.
Yeah, I mean, they the only thing that I'm not a fan of from them is Kikis in the top lane. But I mean, he seemed to have a really good game on Tom when they played against Rockcat. He went like 5-2 and 7 there. And yeah, I mean, Tom, it's kind of a no-brainer champ to play. You just get extremely fed just being Tom.
Stay salty.
Exactly. But yeah, Emperor, he went off. Trick is playing extremely well. He's played Lee Sin jungle, he's played Graves jungle, and he's applying so much pressure. I mean, Trick was a fantastic pickup for them, so I'm a huge, huge fan of that. And Perks, their mid laner, I feel like he's going to be another one of those EU mid laners that just... he's gonna carry teams like that. When he played Ari, he was so aggressive and he just played with no fear, and it paid off because he got very, very far ahead. And the Lulu paid off very well too. I mean, it was a very fast game they played. It was only 23 minutes long, but I mean, with Lulu, you have so much potential for the Emperor to take off. You have so much potential for the Trick to build a little bit, aggressive too, because he went like Warrior, he went Sterix Gage, stuff like that. So. I feel like G2 is going to be a very strong team, actually. Not necessarily top 3, but I feel like they're going to be those teams that are going to be taking the games off of the top 3 when they don't really expect it.
Yeah. Kind of like that. I wouldn't even call them a dark horse. It's hard to say.
I'm calling them a dark horse.
You would call them a dark horse?
I'm calling them and Unicorns of Love a dark horse.
Kind of the top tier kryptonite. They can take those games. Okay.
That's exactly what they are. They are the top tier kryptonite.
I'll have to keep an eye on them. I really want to watch some games, so I might go back and watch some VODs because I'm probably not going to get to watch it all this week again. But I feel like, yeah, the scene in the EU it's kind of interesting to see these teams rise up. But I mean, I hope they stay because it really sucks to see these teams come in, they don't do well. What's the point of it? But hopefully that pulls it through. All right.
It's crossed.
All right, speaking of LCS, let's go have a look at the old fantasy draft that we did here.
Mm-hmm.
I know, Ponnox, you're not in this one.
I'm not in this one, but I'm in a different one with you.
That is.
And,
so, I can tell you right now, I lost this week to the young Sinna. Beat me by 6 points. Kind of salty, man. Even I was going to say, like, Mithy played like garbage, but he had Bunny Fufu who only played one game.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
you can't
I had that for me. But I mean, I had the duo top jungle. I went over that I like to grab the duo top jungle if they do well to get you a decent amount of points. Fortunately, Gamzu didn't do as well in game 2, so he didn't score as many points. But All Tech, I'm so glad. That's one guy I got to stick with. So he pulled in some points. Keith did quite well. CLG played a pretty good game. Jensen, I mean, Zoomers had the most points in our. Oh no, he did not. C9 is trash. Big Booty Bodie, who's unfortunately down here. Most points this week. Absolutely crushing Crafty. Has about a 70-point margin there. But he went. You know, I'm actually surprised. Hanser picked up a decent amount of points. He had 34 in that top lane. Even though TSM didn't have the greatest games, but
Wow.
Silky beat Cadence this week. Cadence team, very Origin CLG reliant. CLG did good for him though. Stixay picking up 44 points. Only 7 from Origin as a team. Sven only giving him 18. Dominate only had 12 points. But I guess he only played the one game.
He only
and that
played
was,
one game, and it wasn't a very impressive game. So I wouldn't give him too much hate over that.
I'd say that's the thing. That's why I feel like Team Liquid's players, Team Liquid players are going to be very hard to get points off of.
Mm. Yeah.
This off of fantasy going forward. But and then Zoomers beat Zeramali. His team is entirely NA. I remember he was like, guys, I have 0 points. What's up? I was like, dude, your entire team's NA. You have to wait till Saturday. And came out 240 points. But, I mean, this week, actually, in this draft, is actually quite surprising. The top point getter is Shifter. And no one has him. He had 60.27 points, which blew me away. But I think he actually almost had a pentakill in that first game we watched.
He did very, very well. Like yeah, Shifter. I mean, I feel like he's gonna take off a little bit this season. He's the dark horse of NA.
And I mean, we talked on this. Piglet becoming in number 2 with 58, almost 59 points there. Like we said, he played phenomenal this week. Unfortunately, they go 0-2.
Yeah.
Even though he had an awesome game. I mean, once again, 80 carries. You got Freeze right behind in third place with 48 points. He had a great time. 0.02 points behind him is Wild Turtle, who also kind of went off this week.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta remember though, this guy has 48 points, and they had one game that was only 18 minutes and 20 seconds long. That's pretty darn good to be in that number 4 spot when your team wins that short. Like, it's not even they tried to rack up the kills or anything, but he had, I mean, I guess he had a couple triple kills. That adds up, those multi-kills. And then F5, we have Phoenix coming in with 47. So, pretty spread out. It's no one's really has all 5 of the top players so far. So, that's always good. And once again, I'm 0-1. So, I guess looking at this week, let's see here. Oh, that's my roster. I'm going to have to do some changes. I got to pick up a new support, I think. I just don't know who to go with. But this week, I'm against Crafty. So, hopefully, I can take it to him as he did score quite low this week. We got Zoom GG versus Cinna. Cadence versus Zeramali. And Big Bodie going after Silky Mittens. I'm sure there'll be a ton of trash talk this week. Because, you know, we're pretty good at trashing each other.
Yeah.
But
yeah, just to comment about the team in my own fantasy league here. I did a little swapping around. I managed to trade a couple players around, so now I feel like I got a pretty stacked team. I got Impact in the top lane. I got Reno.
I'm bringing this one up. I don't even care. I'm trying to think.
I got
okay, no, maybe not. Okay, you know what? I forgot some of the team names, so we're gonna Silky screwed this up. I just thrown it on stream anyways, but
all right. But yeah, so looking at my my team there, I ended up I got screwed over so much from that high being swapped out for the first game, so I tried to put in a different support. I ended up putting in Big from Echo Fox, and he just did terribly. So I ended up swapping him out. I've got Noxiac, so now I have Impact, Rainover, ganked by Mom in the mid lane, double lift on 80 carry, Noxiac on support, Noda Wamne as my flex with NRG as my team. So I think I personally have one of the strongest teams.
bold
I'm making a bold statement.
Bold statement. I think. Oh goodness, yeah. You know what?
Projected points, yeah, sure, they're not as impressive as the other ones, but I honestly think that my team is pretty stacked.
Yeah, I'm making a swap right now. I got to swap out. I'm gonna go with that. I feel like that'll be good. Anyways.
What did you put in?
I just swapped out. I just got rid of Origin as a team.
Wow, you're jumping ship quite fast. You're gonna pick Dignitas?
You're right. I instantly regret that move as soon as I did it. Oh god. Especially after I saw who plays who this
Where's the
week.
faith? You know what? I actually went and looked the other day too, and CLG was still available, so I picked up CLG like yesterday.
Oh really?
Yeah,
All right.
just nobody picked them.
I think that's one swap I'm gonna make. Gonna throw in Freddy. They play Elements and Splice. I think it's a better chance than NRG and Liquid for
Yeah,
KFO.
you know what? Like, Freddie actually looked very good. Even though they went 1-1 there, I think Freddie's gonna have better luck on this Rockcat team than he is gonna be on SK. He's not looking like Season 4 Aatrox top lane carry Freddie, but he's still looking better than late late Season 5 Freddie.
Yeah, no doubt. Oh, I guess with fantasy wrapping up, let's talk a little bit about the game with this whole dynamic queue. There's a lot of huff about this. I haven't played it much. I haven't even tried it, but I don't really know how I feel about it. I know they're trying to eliminate ranked 5 teams.
I
5.
I have a lot of issues with it in some aspects.
Have you done any of the ranked dynamic queue?
Yes.
Is it weird?
It's strange just because I like Team 5 because I like having the team logo, like the badges or whatever. I liked having I just like the atmosphere of ranked 5s better than dynamic queue because when you have your team, it's a set team, right? Like that's one of your teams. It's whereas 5s, it's like, hey, we need one more. Let's get one more guy, and it could just be a random that's not on your team. Whereas 5s, it's like you're all there, you're committed to it. And then with dynamic queue again, it's kind of set up the same where you can't play ranked with people that are so spread out from you too, right?
Yeah.
So like if I'm in silver, I can't play with all my challenger buddies. But
one thing I do like about dynamic queue though is there's a couple people that I duo with, and now I can duo with both of them at the same time, which would be nice.
That's true. I mean, I don't mind the fact that they added more people in to being able to duo for ranked, but because there's other games where you can do that too. You can play your ranked playlist, but you can play with more than one person. It's just the only thing is I just don't want them to also get rid of ranked teams. I wish they could keep the feature as well.
Well, and we have a blast with that. I know as admins,
I love it.
We got a couple of ranked teams going. Of course, they're
Papa John's Pizza Boys.
Papa John's Pizza Boys. With Servio win 30 minutes or less, whether it's us winning or you guys win, it's never over 30 minutes.
You better enjoy your pizza.
And of course, at the end of every game, we say enjoy your pizza because that's just how we roll. But all of our teams are obviously high challengers. Some are in master tier, of course. But I don't know. It's the Team 5s. I'm kind of upset that they're taking that out. But I just see my problem is they used to have they had dynamic queue in Heroes of the Storm.
Mhm.
They got rid of it
because they didn't.
Now League, because it was kind of clunky.
Now
they're like, okay, Heroes dropped this. Let's pick it up. I'm not saying they're doing it because of that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if someone else tried it, it didn't really work. I'm very curious why they're bringing it in. Like, personally, I think it's going to, rank's going to be weird. Because now, instead of having a duo queue troll, you can get stuck with 4 people who are just going to troll you all game.
And if you're that one man out, you're just going to get destroyed.
Well, it's either that person's either just going to troll because they're by themselves. I feel like there's going to be a lot of arguing because people are going to get separated. They're going to get put in their own little groups. It's going to be weird. I don't know how I feel about it necessarily, but
yeah. I'm also
too early to tell.
It might be a little bit, but I think they're rushing the whole getting rid of ranked teams.
Wow.
I miss it. I want it back.
Well,
it's not even gone. It's not even gone yet, but I want it back.
We'll just have to crush out a ton of ranked 5s during it. But also open invitation if any of you guys think you can take the admin team. Feel free to shoot us a message because we're looking to crush kids.
Yeah. As well, another thing I'm iffy about is the new champ select. I've noticed.
I hate it so much.
I like the looks of it. The only thing that I hate is the amount of time it takes and the amount of people that dodge.
Yeah, if draft wasn't already long enough, this adds to it. I'm ranting right now. One, I hate the new ban thing. Like I understand they're trying to make it so like, okay, these last three people don't pick first, so we'll let them ban so that this person doesn't waste all the bans on what they want to ban. But
Yeah.
I mean, at the same time, just people aren't paying attention. I.e. me. This
Yeah,
happened to me. You
you,
have
yeah,
to
you
log
never
in.
do. I know you don't.
Like it's just like why isn't just one person doing it per usual who's already paying attention first pick? It's ridiculous. I don't like that aspect of it. I feel like I understand what they're going for. They're trying to make it a little more fair for other people, but
Mhm.
it drives me bonkers. But yeah, the dodging thing is unreal. It's very annoying.
It's super annoying because it's like you get through the entire thing and the last person just dodges and then you have to restart the whole process over again. I've been in queue longer than TIP's been in a game with Immortals. Like it's disgusting. It's
Holster the guns there as the shot's
yeah,
coming.
I'm spitting fire, dude. Like
Ah!
I
Ah!
I just get I'm just it sucks how long it takes to just get into a normal game. I want to just
Oh,
practice
it is.
something.
It's
I just
brutal.
I
It's
just want to
absolutely
I just want to play
atrocious.
a quick game before I have to go do something, but it takes way too long to do that anymore. And I'm not playing. We were forced to play blind pick the other night just because it was a lot faster. I
Yeah,
hate blind pick. It's baloney.
is baloney the word you really wanted to use? I knew where that was going. I could feel the frustration, but no, I totally agree because I played two games today with two of my friends, and it was we got all the way to the last pick. I went to go make iced tea because I'd picked. I'm upstairs, and all of a sudden they're like, I can hear them yelling at me to come accept, and it's like, why am I going straight back into this like people stop dodging, and it makes you want to play blind pick. But that's the thing, I hate mirror matchups, so I feel like the wait is almost
Yeah,
worth not having a mirror matchup at the
yeah.
same time.
I just wish they change a couple things. Like it's like if you pre-select a champion, that one should be insta lock if the timer runs out.
Oh, that's right, yeah, and that whole like you have to lock in.
Yeah, if you don't lock in, then you just dodge automatically. Like I hate that as well as the banning. If you miss a ban, that also counts as a dodge. I mean, it
Well,
sucks if people miss a ban, but it shouldn't start the whole process over again.
oh, agreed. Like it used to just be penalized one ban, like it always used to do.
Yeah,
It makes the most sense. But the other thing that drives me nuts is I only run one mastery page. I got something I'm trying to do this year is I familiarize myself more with the masteries. Because usually I just copy other people's masteries, and
same.
then it's just like I don't actually know what they do. I'm just copying it. So I'm trying to just use one page and set it every game, so that way I'm reading, I'm getting used to, I'm like learning a little more. So trying to do that, I usually just hover over the champion, don't lock it in, and then fix my mastery page as it clicks down, and it'll lock in for me. Well, I can't do that now. I have to be paying attention and lock the bloody character in.
Yeah, you'll get banned, bro.
Little things that drive me nuts. But this dynamic queue, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it. I personally don't like that you can just queue up solo queue, duo
Yeah.
queue as 5 people, because that's not really a measure of your own individual skill.
No, not whatsoever.
So
It's
it's like, what's the point of having a solo duo queue? It's basically just going to become team queue.
I think so too. Especially when it first came out and all the pros were just duoing together. It's like now who's actually going to be top one when everyone's just getting the same LP because they're just getting together as five.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how it goes. I wonder if it's gonna affect like if queuing by yourself is going to give you more LP. Like they gotta have some kind of incentive for you to queue by yourself because there's honestly no reason to do it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like you're gonna be the odd man out. You're gonna be forced into a role because you were the last person, and that's usually when the trolling happens. Is when you get cornered and forced into doing something you don't want to do. So then you do that, and either you get flamed or people just don't care what you're doing.
It's like playing with Eugene Bouchard. You'll never
Yeah.
not play mid.
Yeah, let's don't open that can of worms in the show. I gotta keep it appropriate and don't want to pull that one out. But
Gotta keep
I
it
mean,
PG-13.
yeah. So I mean, we'll experiment with it. We'll come back with it one day. We'll get all the casters together, the 5 of us, and we'll have to do it and see how we really feel about it. Cause I'm not totally sold on it. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah. I actually got a question from Durkey33 who's wondering what we thought of Poppy's rework.
Poppy's rework. I think she's a very interesting champion. She's more annoying now than ever. I feel like they changed her ulti. which made it like so she's not like stupid broken. But
Mm.
man, she gets so tanky and she's just in your face. That ulti is so cool though.
The only thing is, I think she like lacks a lot of counterplay. Actually, like her W, that shield or whatever, where nobody can dash in and out of it. Like I feel like that's straight up broken. Like
I found out today as I've actually Ezreal's a champion I like to go back to and forth, so I played him a couple times. You can E out of that.
oh really? Well, I guess it's like kind of like a blink, right, rather than a
Yeah.
dash. But I think that's like just broken, and her ult also is pretty like it's so strong. Like
Oh,
as far
it's
as
so good.
positional and stuff like that, it's so good. And I mean, she still has the same kind of classic Poppy stuff. Like she's got her heroic charge and stuff like that. It just does an absurd amount of damage.
The only thing that sucks from my point of view about her ulti is that it makes the target invulnerable. Because I mean, if you're trying to use your ulti, not that you should, like if you use it to knock somebody up, and then you're gonna like engage on them,
Yeah.
you have to wait.
Well, it's kind of like that's why we've been seeing her a lot in the support role. It's like you knock back the support and then you go in on the AD carry. So
I played 2 games today as Ezreal, both times against a Poppy support, and it was kind of annoying.
it is kind of annoying. And I also like I think bot lane meta is the weirdest of them all right now. Top lane it's pretty, you know, straightforward. Same with mid and jungle stuff like every OP champions. But I think there's just so many outliers in the support role right now. It just makes it super fun. Like you got like Trundle, who I think is straight up just disgustingly broken. Poppy, and then you have the normal ones like you can still play Tom, you can still play Alistar, Janna, all that stuff. And so I think bot lane meta is one of the craziest ones right now.
Yeah, I I gotta play the game more. I'm excited. I've actually had a lot of fun playing League recently, so gonna keep that up. Took a bit of a break. Took a bit of a break at the preseason. I was
Same.
like,
Same.
I need to just lay off the League for a bit.
I need to get outside.
But yeah, I pulled myself back in. I've actually found it a lot of fun. I mean, when the new items came out, I was so excited. I'm like, yeah, I have to try these new items. And I started playing Caitlyn, and I don't know if anyone knows, I hate that champion.
She's stupid.
Like I actually hate that champion. And then when I saw some of the things they reworked in her kit, I was like, could this champion be more annoying? And then all of a sudden, I'm like, you know what? If you can't beat him, join him. And I started playing Caitlyn, and holy crap, that champion was fun.
Yeah.
Crits for days. But I mean,
Days.
AD carry is not so stale anymore, and I think that was one of the rough things to do. Is AD carry was I always felt like forced into like a few, like you always had the same item paths all the time. Now you can be a little more adventurous, find stuff out, but
Yeah.
there's a lot more stuff that's viable right now, and I'm actually having a lot of fun. I'm having fun playing Draven again, so that's always good. Hey,
Yeah.
Yang, what up? But
I think just the like just League as a game in general is a lot more diverse. Like I think they've kind of accomplished what they've been looking for. That it's less of the same 10 champions you see in every single game. There's a lot more diversity throughout it, and so I think it's a lot more fun to play.
yeah, the viability
Except
of
for when I
champions
lose.
is kind of gone up. Yeah, I've found myself in quite a bit of a losing streak, but one thing I actually have found that I need to change this season is my macro game because I'm a little slow on what I need to do. I'm still back in that phase where I'm like, I'm just going to stay in laning phase as long as possible, and I'm just
Same.
going to farm and
Same.
screw my team over a lot, so I got to get better at that. But
Yeah, I need to change that in as well as my map awareness because I like to play a lot of top lane and I like to run TP, but it's pretty useless when I only use it to get back to lane. So,
all right, Ponnox, to round it out, in honor of Big Booty Buddy, we're starting to end this segment with the question: what fed you? What tilted you this week? Let's start. What fed you this week? What made you feel good?
what did I get fed on?
Yeah, what fed you this week? What made you feel good? What was something that was exciting that happened to you this week?
Oh, I played a Tom Kench game, and I don't know this. I was playing against a Gangplank, and he just tried to all in me level 1, and I killed him easily, and then I just snowballed super hard, and I would just like I would TP mid, kill their mid laner Zed, and then use my ult to go right back top and get a kill on Gangplank and turn it into a double kill from across the map. Like it was like the most disgusting game I ever played, and then we ended up surrendering because every other lane just got super far behind. But and then what tilted me was.
And this can be anything. It doesn't even have to be league related if you don't want. Just anything in general in your life.
In my life, what tilted me?
Even if it is league related, go nuts.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think of. Don't know what tilted me. I can't think of it. I think just Work in general sucks.
Work.
Yeah.
Classic. I feel ya. I feel ya.
Service industry is fun.
Get those old people just yelling at you for no reason.
Yeah, just tell me to go die.
Go die. Oh, thank you. Enjoy your phone.
Yeah, yeah, and I can't even say anything back because I'll get fired. So it's lovely.
Oh, goodness. All right. One thing that fed me this week. I started playing League again. That's exciting.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying it, which is very rare. Something that tilted me this week. For those of you that don't know, I guess you guys have been watching the stream. Me and my roommates play a lot of Smash Brothers. Put in a lot of time getting better at this game. And then my roommate finally decides he's going to play one character, and he has literally been ravaging me
Blake sucks.
forever. And yeah. So that tilted me. He actually tilted me off the face of the earth by beating me for 3 hours straight the other day. So, but hey, well, if you don't lose, you can't get better. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Unless you're just good right off the bat like me. So I don't know.
yeah. All right. Easy kid. Come at me. I'll
I'll play some Cloud. Let's go.
Kid. All right, watch out. I'm gonna KO punch you. I'm a little Mac only main. I will KO you through the sky. But I mean, yeah. See, he picked up Cloud, and he's been dumpstering me, and it's scary.
Cloud's good, man.
Dude, get out of here. You and your fight pad. Get that garbage out of here. But all right, that's all I got for you guys tonight. We'll have a lot more next week as we are. Well, I guess I'll shoot to do this Sunday, the night before SKL kicks off.
Yep.
Monday night.
Do you raid that night?
I don't think so.
Okay, so we can do it a little bit later, probably after LCS, so we can talk a little bit about how the week
Yes.
up there too.
That was my big stipulation. I didn't want to do it, so we will do it Sunday night probably. We will talk about LCS. We'll talk about the first week. We'll go over some of the teams. We'll once we have the matches figured out. Because I think that schedule should be done. I hope it's done by Sunday. We'll definitely make sure it's done. We'll go over some of the teams that are playing next week. Yeah, shoot. What's up, buddy? Do you have a question, or were you just putting your fingers?
I was fingers crossed, dude.
Oh, I thought you were giving me like the salute from Hunger Games. Thought you were saluting me, but I mean, yeah. Well, we'll talk about some of the teams that are coming up and who plays next week. Because I don't know personally, I don't know all the teams, so I don't really know who to look for. I don't know what they play, so maybe tune into the show. You guys will get to learn the teams a little more before they play, as we will see 16 teams next week, right? Not every team plays next week.
No, not every team plays next week. There's a few teams that do. The top 4 teams were granted a bye.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna be seeing Viz Major going to the next round right away. Also, we're gonna be seeing Vicious and Delicious, as well as Fellowship going right to the next round.
Yeah, so we will not see them until February. Which is a long time, but I mean, hey, if anyone needs, like I said, and they need some practice, the Challenger admin team. We're sitting here. We'll play on our Smurfs, so you guys, we don't want you to know our actual accounts. We don't want to give them away, Can't just have everyone adding me on my channel. No,
Yeah.
Feel free to hit us up. I would like to thank Bailey, Ponnox, Dietrich for coming on the show today. It was very much appreciated.
Yeah, no problem. I'd like to thank you for dressing for the occasion.
All right. You know what? I'm just sitting here trying to enjoy my day in my Venom onesie, and I'm just getting trashed. You know what? I kind of forgot that everyone was going to look good. I'm just sitting here, got off work. I was cold. I put my onesie on. It's laundry day, okay? Leave me alone.
Okay, all right.
I'll go grab my laundry. It's in that room back there. But, I mean, that's it. Yeah, so thanks for coming in for another episode of Dazzle's Discussions, and we'll hopefully see you guys on Sunday. That's what I said.
Sunday.
So, yeah, thanks for coming out, guys, and we will see you next week. Take care.